So we know that some of you are familiar with the fundamentals of synthesis, but not everybody is. And today we're going to talk specifically about the oscillator. Let's do this. Hello, Internet. Chris Klein here with Alma Music Center in San Antonio. And as I stated before, today we're going to talk about the oscillator. We want to look at the building blocks of synthesis and how most of these, at least analog devices, work. Their signal flow, the path that the signal travels down, what's making the sound, what modulates the sound, what manipulates the amplitude envelope, and so on and so forth. And so today, we're going to talk once again specifically about the oscillator. So without further ado, let's jump into the oscillator section of our trusty Roland SH-101. So here we are with our trusty SH-101. Once again, probably see this keyboard a lot in some of our videos. It's a fantastic mono synth. It's my favorite. And it's a great way to demonstrate the fundamentals of synthesis just because of the way that it's laid out. It just makes a lot of sense. So let's talk about the oscillator. Now the oscillator, voltage-controlled oscillator, is what is going to generate our sound. It's our sound source, if you will, right? And with this, it is an additive, it is a subtractive synthesizer in that we have complex waveforms, a pulse or square wave, sawtooth plus our sub-oscillator. What I mean by complex is that these waveforms have harmonics, right? That are built into them that we can manipulate by subtracting frequencies. In this case, we have a low-pass filter, so we're going to shave off high-end frequencies. We'll get to that later. We're just talking about the oscillator right now, and we're going to listen to the oscillator on the SH-101 in its purest synth. So we have the pulse, or square wave, and we can manipulate the range, or the octave that it sits in. Start getting into video game territory. So let's bring it back down. So that's our pulse or square wave, and it has kind of a hollow characteristic to it, which is sometimes associated with woodwinds. This could be really, really good for creating lead sounds. And again, it's whatever you hear in your head. You can manipulate these waveforms that exist on here to your heart's content. But we can also go to our sawtooth. Now, if you notice, sawtooth, saw, cuts, buzz, a saw can buzz. It's a little more buzzy, a little more cutting, and we can blend them together. And we're going to talk about the mixer more in the next video, but just want to get to what the oscillator does and how it sounds. So there's our pulse, square, sawtooth, and then we have a sub-oscillator, which is going to be a square wave, and when we go down 2 octaves, it becomes a different pulse width. It's really cool. And the reason we have this is so we can incorporate a little more heft into our signal and give a little more low end. Very, very cool oscillator. Such a great sound. And it's so different than a lot of the other Roland synthesizers, even though it has the same oscillator and filter as many of the other synthesizers from Roland, this era for Roland from the early to mid 80s. It's still a very distinct sound, and I love it so much. I am not a keyboard player, by the way. I'm just a synth nut. Go back to the pulse. So that's our oscillator. A lot of other keyboards are going to sound somewhat similar. Most are going to be different. We're just trying to give you a rundown of how synthesizers work and once again, the fundamentals of synthesis. So we'll move on to our next section. So we understand that some of you already know how all this stuff works, but we also know that there are quite a few people that don't fully understand what's happening on the signal path, and that's why we're doing this. So if there's something else that you would like for us to cover in regards to synthesis, please let us know in the comments below. Or if I miss something, I miss things all the time. I'm human, I'm fallible, I know this. So if I miss something, also please let me know or let us know down in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation flowing. We really enjoy sharing this information and hopefully giving people a better understanding and building blocks to help their music production life and their knowledge of synthesis or whatever happens to be a little more stable and a little more firm. With that being said, we are going to be coming back with more, and we do have other channels. We have our bass channel, piano channel, guitar channel, accordion channel. I'm sure we're going to think up of some other channels here at some point in the future. So please stay tuned, subscribe to us. Once again, I'm going to say it again, comment below. Let's keep the conversation flowing. Until next time, I'm Chris Klein with Alma Music Center in San Antonio, and we look forward to seeing you again. Keep on creating, be kind to each other. Bye-bye.